I don't know you, but I want you all the more for that. Words fall through me and always fool me, and I can't react. Games that never amount to more than they're worth will play themselves out. Hi, Mark the Guitar Guy here. We're going to be doing a song by Glen Hansard from the movie Once. It's one of my favourite movies, very beautiful, romantic movie, and just happens to have one of the most pretty little guitar fingerstyle pieces ever. And it's really, really simple. It's very effective, but very simple. And once you learned it, you want to play it over and over. Okay, I haven't done the whole song, but I'm just going to be doing the intro mainly. So we're using fingerstyle technique. You need to make sure you've got a reasonable grounding in fingerstyle before we start this. However, there's only a few fingers involved, so we can get started pretty quickly. Now, left hand wise, we're starting with a 3-fingered C chord, okay? The way I'm doing that, if you go from the bottom string here, 0, 1, 0, 2, 3, okay? The way I'm picking that, the thumb is picking the bass note on the 5th string, and the second finger is going to be picking the 2nd string, okay, together. That's the very first thing we need to do. And when you're doing good technique for this, make sure your thumb is low and pushed forward, and your hand is low as well, so that your fingers are all bent over like this. You don't want to be hand too far in the air, it's a bit weird. Nice and low and relaxed. And then, so after you've done that, the first finger plays the note on the G string. So the first finger is always in charge of that G string, which is the 3rd string, okay? Just keep practicing by just doing that over and over. Okay, the next note from there is in the left hand. The left hand, little finger goes down on the 2nd string, 3rd fret, to make that note there, okay? And then we just play that note by itself, which is just our 2nd finger. Okay, so we've got thumb and 2nd finger together on the right hand. The open note, then the little finger comes down and we play that note. And then we play it, we always follow it by the open G string note, which is our 1st finger. So basically every 2nd note is going to be our 1st finger. Okay? Next note after that is the 3rd finger is going to be playing the open string, which is the open E, which is the 1st string. So we go. And guess what follows it? Another open G. So every 2nd note, if you think of that the whole way through, you'll be fine, which is that open G. So we've got, okay, last thing, part of that chord, we just do 2nd finger again, okay? Now with the left hand, what I'm doing through that, I'm holding the chord the whole time. I've got the 3-fingered C, my little finger comes down. Because that little finger's on, I can take my 1st finger off, but I'm leaving it there, okay? I don't want to take it off at this stage, unless it's really in the way, because it's not doing anyone any harm by staying there, okay? The only time it might be an issue is if one of the fingers, little finger or your 1st finger, is just the flesh of it, just underneath the finger there, just underneath, might be touching that note by mistake. That can happen quite a bit when learning this. But as your fingers strengthen up and get used to the song, you'll find nice clean notes happening out of that. So that's the C part of it. So I've got, okay, even that alone is pretty enough just to practice over and over. Don't move on to the next section until you've got that down. When you've got that down, then we'll move on to the next section, okay? So make sure that's down. So now I'm assuming you've maybe stopped me for a little bit now and you've gone and practiced that over and over and over, and now you're ready for the next section. The next section is basically based on an F chord, but we're only going to use 2 fingers pretty much. 1st finger doesn't move, it's still there from the C chord, okay? We have the C chord, we're ready for the F chord now, the 1st finger stays there, the 3rd finger is just going to pop down 1 string, so it's on the 4th string on the 3rd fret. 4th string, 3rd fret, there it is playing that note there. Very similar, we're going to be playing the thumb and the 2nd finger together. And guess what, we're playing the open G each time in between. Same thing happens there again. What we're doing is the thumb and the second finger together, open string, little finger comes down again to play that third fret on the second string note, open string again. Have a rest, practice that again. Then the next bit is quite important. The first finger is going to come down one string to play the first fret note on the first string. But we're always playing that open G in between, so. Okay, and then the last one's real easy. Lift the first finger off, play that open string. Two open strings together. But you'll notice my little finger stays there the whole time because you want these notes to ring and chime together. Otherwise you get this sort of sounding stuff. I played it wrong anyway, but that sort of thing. It's clunky, horrible. You want it to ring and all the notes to blend into each other. Okay, so going through the F again slowly, we've got the two notes together, which is your first finger and third finger. Together, open, little finger down on the left hand, play that note with the G. First finger comes down to play the first fret on the bottom string, which is an F note, open G. First finger comes off to play an open E. Okay, one more time. Really pretty, okay? I'll go back through that again, a little bit faster. Now when you first do this, you might find a few notes that might end up being a bit, don't worry too much. Your fingers will harden up, the calluses will grow on in the end of your fingers, which is not gross by the way, it actually ends up being fine. And then you'll be able to play this no problem at all. You'll find it'll be no problems. But when you first do practice this, because we are holding fingers for so long, your fingers just tend to get a bit sore and a bit tender. Don't worry about that too much. So, back to the C chord again. To the F chord. Okay, back to the C chord. And that's what happens in the song. Next thing is, so we've done C, F, C, just like we've just done then. Now the next part of the F is really simple. We do the same beginning of our F chord. So our first finger stays where it is, first fret on the second string. Third finger is on the third fret of the fourth string. We play those two notes that our fingers are on together, thumb and second finger in the right hand, and all we do is cycle our fingers like this. We'll just let that chord ring. So there's the F. And our open G string, we just continue those notes. So that's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's the F done. Here's the C. F, back to C. Then there's the F just played. And start again, C. How beautiful is that? Really, really cool. So a nice and simple tune to do. If you've already started doing the fingerstyle lessons, you'll find that quite fun to do. Glen Hansard, awesome songwriter, fantastic singer. Great movie, by the way, if you want to check out once. And one to cuddle up with your better half, maybe. Not with your mates. If you're a bloke, don't sit down with your mates and watch once. You know, it's not quite right. But someone that you maybe think is quite attractive is a good idea. And then have a go at playing that song, and it will melt anyone in the room if you do play that song. I love that song, and hope you do too. This is Mark the Guitar Guy signing off. If you like this, please subscribe and comment down below. It'd be great to hear from you, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.